Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, feeling like someone was watching you? The room is dark. Everything seems quiet. But deep down, in the middle of the silence, you're sure you heard something. A whisper. Soft, close, almost inside your head. But what if it's not your imagination? What if something is calling your name? Maicon, a 15-year-old teenager, had just moved with his family to a new house in New Jersey. A fresh start, his parents said. But from the first night, Maicon felt that something was wrong. The house was old, too quiet, and the wooden floor creaked even when no one was walking on it. But the strangest thing of all was the whispers. At first, he thought it was the wind. But as the days passed, the whispers became clearer, almost as if they were calling his name. One night, Maicon woke up with a dry throat. He got out to get some water, but froze when he reached the hallway. The whispers were there, soft, distant, but unmistakable. He held his breath and looked down the hallway. It was dark, but for a split second, he thought he saw a shadow move near the old storage room down the hall. His heart pounded. Was he imagining things? He turned on his phone's flashlight and took a step forward. But as soon as the light hit the door, the whispers stopped. Complete silence. Goosebumps spread across his arms. He backed away and rushed back to his room, locking the door behind him. But just as he lay back in bed, a cold chill ran down his spine. The storage room door had been slightly open, and now it was completely closed. Maicon tried to ignore it. Maybe he was just tired. Maybe it really was just the wind. But as the days went by, the strange events continued. Doors creaked open on their own. Objects moved slightly from where he had left them. The whispers always returned at night, sometimes right outside his bedroom door. And then came the dreams. Dreams where he was trapped inside the house, running through endless corridors that twisted and turned, leading him back to the same place. A place where something waited for him. Something dark. Something that wanted to be seen. One night, Maicon woke up sweating, heart racing. He turned to check the time on his phone. 3:33 a.m. And then, tap, tap, tap. A sound echoed from the hallway. And this time, it wasn't a whisper. Someone, or something, was walking outside his room. The door creaked open slowly. Maicon held his breath. What should he do? The darkness inside the storage room seemed thicker than the rest of the house. As if light refused to enter, he got up slowly, his body instinctively knowing that something was terribly wrong. But before he could move closer, tap, 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 footsteps came from inside the room. His muscles locked. The whispers returned, now louder, more distinct. Multiple voices, overlapping, as if many people were speaking at once. Maicon swallowed hard. What was in there? And then something stepped out of the darkness. A shadow, long, skeletal, crawling across the floor, as if it barely had the strength to move. And then he saw it. The eyes. They weren't human. They were hollow, empty, absorbing all the light. Maicon tried to run, but his body wouldn't move. The shadow slowly stood up and smiled. Its lips were long and stitched together. But still, the mouth opened, revealing rotting, sharp teeth. "You finally came to see me." The voice was raspy, dragging, as if it hadn't been used in centuries. The whisper came directly inside Maicon's head. His eyes widened. It wasn't speaking, it was inside his mind. He opened his mouth to scream, but the thing lunged at him. Everything went black. For a moment, Maicon thought he was dead, but then he felt something cold and rough against his skin. Hands. Many hands. He opened his eyes and realized that he was no longer in the hallway. He was inside the dark room. But the room was much bigger than it looked from the outside. The walls were alive, twisted, pulsing with black veins as if they were made of flesh. The ceiling didn't exist. Only a deep, endless void where shadows moved, whispering a language he didn't understand. Maicon tried to run back, but the hands held him. And then he saw it. In the center of the room, a figure sat on the floor, back turned to him. It had long, tangled hair and gray, cracked skin. It was motionless, as if waiting for something. "Maicon," the voice whispered again. His body froze. It knew his name. The figure slowly turned, revealing a face that shouldn't exist. The skin was melting. The eyes were two empty voids, like black holes. The mouth, stitched shut with thick, black threads, began to unravel. Maicon wanted to scream, but he couldn't. The whisper came again, now echoing inside his head. "You heard me. Now will you let me in?" The thing reached out toward him, and Maicon realized, too late, that he wasn't the one trapped in that room. It was waiting to be free. Days passed. Maicon tried to forget, pretend nothing had happened. But things were different now. The whispers had stopped. The house wasn't as cold anymore. But his mother started acting strangely. "Maicon, did you sleep well?" she asked one morning, her expression blank. "Yeah, why?" She hesitated. "It's just, last night, I saw you in the hallway. You were standing outside our room." Maicon froze. "I didn't leave my bed." She frowned. "But I saw you. You were facing away from me. When I called your name, you ran into the kitchen and disappeared." His heart pounded. He knew what it meant. Someone else was in the house now, and that someone had his face.